Hi, and welcome to a Calculus 1 course format video. This is going to be an introduction, and then we'll have some follow-up videos as we go through the first few weeks so that you can see more of the detail. I don't really want to overwhelm you too much in this course format video, so these are just going to be some of the high-level basics. If you have questions before I get to some of the specifics, just go ahead and send me an email and I'd be happy to go over it. But we're going to go through the specifics as we need throughout the course. This will just be a little bit high-level overview. So once you go into more, before you log into the actual course, if you could please go up to the top right where it says Change User Info, click on that. All right, so your first name and last name are on this page. Please make sure that that is the first and last name that is on your official record with the college. And then your email address is the one that you registered with and more. And then please select this Notify Me by email when I receive a new message. This is going to do exactly what it's saying. It's going to email you to the email you listed above when you receive a new message here and more. Since we are an online class, our main form of communication back and forth is written or here in more messages. And so it's really important that you are notified by email when you receive a new message so you can make sure you stay on track of everything for the course. Show on homepage, I would also highly recommend that new messages and new forum posts. What this allows to happen is that you don't have to actually be in our course to see your new messages or new forum posts. You can access them even if you cannot access the class. All of these display preferences should be fine, so you'll just scroll to the very bottom and click that Update Info. And now what you should notice is that on the right-hand side, you're going to see your new messages and your new forum posts right here before you even get into the courses that you're taking listed on the left. So let's go ahead and enter our course. Here's your announcements. These are very, very important. This is our main form of communication. Each week I will write an announcement to you, and it basically lists out your agenda for the week. What are you supposed to be working on? And not necessarily only on that day. These should be work in progress until their due date. So it just lists where you can find the assignments, what is exactly due, maybe what's coming up if it's really important. So please read through those announcements, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Start Here Day 1 assignments is obviously something you're only going to have to do this first week. You have a few things in here. This course format video, that's where we live. That's where this is. The syllabus and calendar of due dates confirmation is literally a click of a confirmation that you have received the syllabus and calendar of due dates, and I'll show you where those are in the course in just a second. Your syllabus quiz is going to ask you specific questions regarding the syllabus. So this is very similar to mathematical quizzes that you will take later in the semester as well. This is one where, let's say you take this quiz one time and you miss one. Well, you can click Retake Quiz up in the top right corner and take it again for full credit. So let me show you that now. I'm going to click into the syllabus quiz. I'm going to start it. And let's just say I'm going to go here, check it. Oh, it's wrong. Okay, I'm going to submit the whole thing in the top right. I know there's some that are unattempted, and it shows that I got a score. I can review questions and see, what if there's any help features. Sometimes on quizzes, maybe it'll even show you the answer, or some videos might appear. I'm going to go back to the score list. I can see exactly which ones I missed. And then up in this top right corner, you're going to see Retake. So I'll go ahead and click Retake. I click Retake again. It's still telling me time limit is still 30 minutes. Every single time I take the quiz, my time limit restarts, and I can take this assessment 99 more times. So I retake. Yes, I want to start it. And I go through the quiz and answer all the questions there. And I do have this timer up here that's helping me keep track if I forget when I started it. So that's how our quizzes work in the class. And that one is just for the syllabus quiz, but our math content quizzes are going to work very similar. Okay, appointment for proctored exam. Our math division has a policy that for online math courses, we have 2 proctored exams per semester. So you will be coming to campus 2 times minimum, once for your midterm, which is proctored on our campus, and the other for your proctored final exam. So this assignment, the purpose of it is for you to make that appointment for the proctored exam. So if I click into this appointment for proctored exam, I will see directions on how to do this. It takes me to a link to the Math Center and then tells me what I need to do. And once I make my appointment for my midterm, I enter the month, day, and time that you signed up to take your midterm below and submit the question. This will put you and I both on the same page so that we will all know when your midterm is scheduled. How to show work. So you are required to upload and submit work for various things throughout this course, one of which is your unit tests. So at the end of each block of work, so there's going to be 4 total, you will be submitting your work for those tests. So this is just a quick video. It is not calculus related, but it shows you some examples of how to organize your work on your paper or how to show those detailed steps so that you can earn full credit and potentially even raise some test scores depending on the work that you have. So we're grading your work, not necessarily your final answer. So that work needs to be legible and we need to be able to understand the flow and it needs to be organized and in chronological order. Well, now that you've shown your work on the test, you need to upload it to me. And so in order to make a PDF that is the correct size for more, because MOER or more has a size requirement for PDFs, and if you create a single PDF, it might be too large. So please, please, please watch that video on how to make a small PDF that more will accept. And this is to make a single PDF. So those Start Here Day 1 assignments are sort of housekeeping type assignments that you will only have to do within that first week. Your course syllabus, textbook information, and additional resources are up here in blue. Most of your resources for the course are in blue. So I have my course syllabus, textbook, additional resources like math division contacts and online graphing calculators, PVCC tutoring, things like that are in this blue. My instructor information is in there, office hours, and then down below at the bottom of the course there's also some blue supplemental resources. So here's where I'm going to find my course syllabus as well as the course calendar and exactly what we're going to assess throughout the semester. So our course is based on these objectives linked to our OpenStax Calc 1 volume, and here are the sections from that book. But this is exactly what you are assessed. This just shows you all 16 at once, or all of the objectives on one document. So if you wanted to print that, you could. But those also live, if I scroll down below my calendar here, and I have my calendar very expanded so I can see a lot here. If I open up this objectives 1 through 4, here are the first 4 that were seen on that same piece of paper. So I can see them 4 at a time, which is how they are learned and assessed. Okay, scrolling back up, textbook resources. Your textbook is free. It is online, so you can purchase it if you would like, but you can also just view it online. You do not have to buy it. Free tutoring and PV resources. We offer in-person and virtual tutoring. Please, please come to Q Building, meet our tutors, come to the LSC in the E Building, or just contact me. I'd be happy to walk over there with you and show you where those resources are. If you don't want to come in person, as of right now, we do have some virtual hours available. Go ahead and click here for the Cranium Cafe, and I did list step-by-step instructions for how to do that. Online graphing calculators are not allowed to be used on your proctored exams, so I don't recommend you use them on any other exam either. They are an excellent online calculator. Desmos is great, especially if we don't have our graphing calculator nearby, but your TI-83 or TI-84 is the approved calculator for your proctored midterm and proctored final. And then lastly in this section, math division contacts. So if you can't get a hold of your instructor, you can get a hold of the admin assistant or the division chair if necessary. Your instructor information is here separate. That way, with maybe how they want to be communicated with, phone number is there, and the office is there. Office hours you will see each semester. Those office hours will be listed, so come on in. Class Help Discussion Forum, this is a student-to-student thread, and check out the assignments within your first week. You might even be asked to post something in here. So check that out and see, but this is basically a student helping student forum. I expanded my calendar to 10 weeks so I could see quite a bit of things here. These assignments within these days are all green because they're so far out. So they're saying green is good. Green is go, right? That means these are ready to be worked on. They're not due like in 10 minutes. They're due in a few weeks. So I have plenty of time theoretically to work on them, as my calendar is showing me right now. As these get closer to being due, so like right when you start a course, your course format video assignment is due within a couple days. You're going to see this assignment turn colors. So it gets closer and closer to a dark red as it becomes closer to being due. So that's the coloration of your assignments within your calendar and why they're that way. So if I click on any given day, I can scroll down and look underneath my calendar, and it not only lists what I have to do that day, but there might be a link to that actual assignment right next to it. And if I accidentally missed a due date, if your instructor allows, you'll see that use a late pass right there. I would just caution you, make sure you know how many late passes you're given for the semester, and use those wisely. Okay, your content is all here in gray, so I'm going to stick to the blue here for a minute. We talked about blue being resources. You have 3 other blocks down here of work that are also resources. So I'm below our calendar. I have some resources for objectives. These are things that students have suggested that we put in the course that is helpful, and I will remind you of those as we go through the course. We have additional video resources for every single block of work that we have, so for every single section within those objectives. And then I also put, because I think some of you might be interested in some of the proofs behind some of the theorems or behind some of the derivatives that we will learn, so those proofs are there for you. And then the green is your student resource information, food, housing, all of that. There's a lot of helpful information in here. PVCC really does strive to support the whole student, so please reach out if you think there's anything in there that could be of help to you or to your instructor, because we can point you in the right direction. And then at the bottom of your More course, I put a screen capture of your calendar. I think this is really good to see the whole semester at a glance, to see what is due when. Now, just because, for example, section 4.6 says that it's due on this day does not mean that you should start it that day. You probably won't finish. There's at least 3 assignments, sometimes 4, for every one section. So we're going to look at why here just in 1 second. What's really important is that we all start at the same starting point, because most students say that the hardest thing about calculus is not actually the calculus. It's the algebra and trig required to be successful in calculus. So what we have done, if I scroll back up to all my content here, so I'm right below my calendar, in this prerequisite material section, we have picked out 4 main prerequisite topics: domain, solving an equation algebraically, solving a trig equation algebraically, and writing an equation of a line. And I wrote out all of the detail of the objectives underneath them. Also provided some video support, so if you're trying to learn this, maybe not really for the first time, but just review, and you want a video, here's some simplifying trig, for example, solving basic trig, solving more basic trig. So just so you can get a feel for, oh yeah, that's how I do it. I also put a link to the textbook sections that might talk about domain or might talk about solving an equation, so you can view those as well. You can also just go into the prerequisite practice on domain. But here's the thing, once you open it, you're going to see a bunch of different questions. It doesn't even mean you have to do all the questions. Some of them have their own videos attached to them, some of them do not. but you're going to find the domain, for example, on this one. If you get a question wrong, like I did here, you get a question wrong, you can retry it. Okay, maybe it's this. I know it's not. Okay, I can retry it again. No, it's still wrong. And now it appears that I can't retry it. I can't click in this box anymore. But what I can do is go right up here to say, get a similar question. And I can click on that, and now it opens it up for me to be able to do it again. And up here it tells me I haven't gotten this correct yet. My recorded score is 0 out of 1, but I have 3 more tries on this particular question, but I can regenerate this question 98 more times. Theoretically, you have an infinite number of attempts, but you have 3 tries for each attempt. Okay? And that's true for all homework. So I'll go back. So these 4 prerequisite practices are just optional prerequisite practice. Okay? This trigonometry help for calculus is a video that some students suggested we make a long time ago, just on basic trig that you're going to need to be successful in calc. So again, it's not meant to replace a trigonometry course, but it might give you a good review of what you should remember from that course. So all of these 5 things are sort of just optional practices helping you get ready for this prerequisite quiz. This quiz is like every other quiz you're going to take. You have 1 question on each of the objectives. So 1 on domain, solving equations will be 1, trigonometry will be 1, writing equations of lines will be 1. So you have 4 questions total, and you may regenerate this quiz as many times as you like by clicking on that retake quiz in the top right, just like we did for the syllabus quiz. Then once you feel like you're good to go for the course, we're going to take a look at the first block of work. You need to, at some point, come to Q Building Math area and pick up a packet of notes. If you prefer, you can also pick those up in the e-building in the LSC, the tutoring center in the e-building. All of this is written down, but I'm just letting you know why. You're going to need to take notes on the actual notes packets. Some of them are pretty long, and you may not want to print them on your own. If you would prefer to print them on your own, you may do so. The link is right here. Then once you get into a typical section, all of them are going to be formatted about the same. You have a reading link, you have your learning objectives, along with where is it assessed. So is it assessed and where? And then every section is going to have at least the same 3 assignments. Every section is going to have a video lesson assignment, which is the video that teaches you how to do those concepts. It goes through the notes packet. So the video will correspond exactly to the notes. And while you're watching that video, you're filling out the notes packet, and then in the completed notes assignment, that's where you're uploading your notes assignment. So video lesson assignment, you're watching and taking notes, and then the completed notes assignment is the upload of those notes. This is where that single PDF is going to become really important. Please make sure it's a single PDF in chronological order, just as they are in your notes packet. And then your homework assignment is, of course, your practice of what you've learned through the video and taking the notes. At the beginning of calculus, because there's so much algebra and trig that we need to fill in, we have this prerequisite support assignment for you, which is, again, that has come from student suggestions in the past. And so this is just one opportunity for you to refresh something that will be needed for this particular section. So it's kind of like a just-in-time review. So let me take you through this real quick. This is what's called the video cued assignment. So the first question is going to be on average rate of change from a graph. I can just watch this video and then a question is going to appear. Or if I think I already know average rate of change from a graph, I can go right to the question and see if I can answer it. If I can't answer it, I really should be watching that video. And I would say 9 times out of 10, students that watch these videos just for Chapter 2 do better than those that don't. But these are optional, again, because most of those topics are prerequisite. So if you remember all of those concepts. It's just 3 quick questions really on the prerequisites necessary for this section. And then every single section is the same thing. So when you open 2.2, it's going to look very similar, a link to the text, your learning objectives, your, in this case, prerequisite support assignment, video, notes, homework. So video, notes, homework, video, notes, homework, all the time. So it kind of goes along the same flow, so hopefully the organization will feel more comfortable in a few days. About halfway through the chapter, you may see some quizzes. Those will appear and not be grayed out. You will have 4 days, 3 to 4 days in which to complete them, but you can retry them in that time window an infinite number of times. And I'll send out more information about those as we go through. I'll also send out more information about the test review and the tests as we get closer. So please look for that. I'll also give you a lot of information about the midterm as we get closer to that. So your resources, additional resources are down here, like we had talked about before. Please do use those as you need as you go through the course. Last thing, and I'll make a separate video about it, but you do have access to your gradebook. So if you can't find an assignment, you can find it here in your gradebook, and it does list things in order of due date, so you're able to see that. This IP means in progress, and there is a key at the bottom which tells you what those letters mean, so you can see what you have and have not done all at one glance. And then if there is a late pass available to use, then you're able to use it on that assignment. Again, be cautious because you don't want to run out. You don't want to use them all too early. So, and at the bottom of your gradebook, it gives you all the percentages of each category that we have in the course. So again, I hope you found this course format video helpful. As you get started this first week, don't hesitate to reach out and ask any questions that you have. And I know that this semester is going to be really successful. Thanks for watching. More videos will come in the future.